Let's see section 2 definitions which are mentioned like in GST, CGST. Section 1, 2 subsection 1. Actionable claim shall have the same meaning as assigned to it in section 3 of Transfer of Property Act 1882. Address of delivery means the address of the recipient of goods and service or both indicated on the tax invoice issued by a registered person for delivery of such goods or service or both. Address on record means the address of the recipient as available in the records of the supplier. Adjudicating authority shall have means any authority appointed or authorized to pass an order or decision under this act but does not include Central Board of Indirect Taxes and Customs, the Revisional Authority, the Authority of Advance Ruling, Appellate Authority for Advance Ruling, National Appellate Authority for Advance Ruling, the Appellate Authority, the Appellate Tribunal, and the authority referred to in subsection 2 of section 171. Agent means a person including factor, broker, commission agent, or Hatia, Del Creditory agent, an auctioneer, or any other mercantile agent by whatever name called who carries on the business of supply or receipt of goods and service or both on behalf of another. Aggregate turnover. Aggregate turnover means the aggregate value of all taxable supplies, excluding the value of inward supplies on which tax is payable by the person on reverse charge basis, exempt supplies, export of goods or service, or both on interstate supplies of person having the same PAN to be computed on all India basis, but excludes central tax, state tax, union territory tax, integrated tax, and cess. Aggregate turnover means aggregate value of all taxable supplies, excluding the value of inward supplies on which tax is payable by a person on reverse charge basis, exempt supplies, export of goods or service, or both an interstate supply of person having the same PAN to be computed on all India basis, but exclude central tax, state tax, union territory tax, integrated tax, and cess. Agriculturalist means an individual or HUF who undertakes cultivation of land by own labor or by the labor of the family or by servants on wages payable in cash or kind or hired labor under personal supervision of any member of the family. Appellate authority means an authority appointed or authorized to hear appeals as referred to in section 107. Appellate tribunal means the Goods and Service Tax Appellate Tribunal constituted under 109. Appointed day means the date on which the provisions of this act shall come into force. Assessment means determination of tax liability under this act and includes self-assessment, reassessment, provisional assessment, summary assessment, adjustment assessment. Associated enterprise shall have the same meaning as assigned to it in Section 92A of Income Tax Act 1961. Audit means the examination of the records, returns, and other documents maintained or furnished by the registered person under this Act or the rules made thereunder or under any other law for the time being enforced to verify the correctness of turnover declared, taxes paid, refund claimed, and input tax credit claimed availed and to assess his compliance with the provisions of this act and the rules made thereunder. Authorized bank shall have the same. Authorized bank shall have the bank or branch of bank authorized by government to collect the tax or any other amount payable under this act. Authorized representative means the representative as referred to in section 116. Board means the Central Board of Indirect Tax and Customs constituted under Central Board of Revenue Act 1963, 54 of 1963. Business includes any trade, commerce, manufacture, profession, vocation, adventure, wager, or any other similar activity, whether or not it is for pecuniary benefit, any activity or transaction in connection with incidental or ancillary to subclause A, any activity or transaction in the nature of subclause A, whether or not there is a volume, frequency, continuity, or regularity of such transaction, supply or acquisition of goods, including capital goods and services in connection with commencement of closure of business, provision or by a club, association, society, or any such body for a subscription or any other consideration of the facility to its member, admission for a consideration of person to any premises, services supplied by a person as the holder of the office who has been accepted by him in the course of furtherance of the business or vocation, activities of race, including by way of totalister or licensed bookmaker or activities of licensed bookmaker of a in such club, any activity or transaction undertaken by central government, state government, and any local authority in which they are engaged as public authorities. 18. Remote. 19. Capital goods means goods, the value of which is capitalized in the books of accounts of a person claiming the input tax credit which are used or intended to be used in the course of furtherance of the business. Casual taxable person means a person who occasionally undertakes transactions involving supply of goods or services or both in the course of furtherance of the business, whether as principal agent or in any other capacity in the state or union territory where he has no fixed place of business. Central tax means the central goods and service tax levied under Section 9. Cess shall have the same meaning as assigned to it in Goods and Service Tax Compensation to States Act. Chartered accountant means the chartered accountant as defined in clause B of subsection 1 of section 2 of Chartered Accountants Act 1949. Commissioner means the commissioner of central tax and the principal commissioner of central tax appointed under section 3 and the commissioner of integrated tax appointed under the integrated goods and service tax act. Commissioner in the board means the commissioner referred to in section 168. A common portal means the common goods and service tax services tax electronic portal. Common working days in respect of state and union territory shall have the same meaning in succession which are not declared as gazetted holidays by the central government or the concerned state or union territory government. Company secretary means a company secretary as defined in clause C of subsection 1 of section 2 of the Company Secretary Act 1980. Competent authority means such authority as may be notified by the government. Composite supply means a supply made by a taxable person to a recipient consisting of two or more taxable supplies of goods and services or both or combination thereof which are bundled and supplied in conjunction with each other in the ordinary course of business, one of which is our principal supply, where goods are packed and transported with insurance. The supply of goods, packing material, transport, and insurance is a composite supply, and supply of goods is a principal supply. Consideration in relation to supply of goods or services or both includes any payment made or to be made, whether in money or otherwise, in respect of in response to or for the inducement of the supply of goods or service, whether by the recipient by any other person, but shall not include any subsidy given by the central government or state government. The monetary value of any act or forbearance in response to for the inducement of supply of goods or both, whether by recipient or by any other person, but shall not include any subsidy given by central government or state government, provided the deposit given in respect of supply of goods and services or both shall not be considered as payment made for such supply unless the supplier applies the deposit as consideration for the said supply.